Foreign films from East Asia that get decently pushed in the United States tend to either fall under the heading of cult genre fare or prestige awards bait, but once in a while there's a chance to see what actually makes real bank in terms of mainstream middlebrow crowd pleaser fare and the rest of the world, basically what X country's answer to a good enough early fall Matt Damon to Denzel programmer is, and for that one can often thank the reliably efficient distribution outfit Wellgo for getting into actual US movie theaters. That's certainly the case with Escape from Mogadishu this week, and inspired by actual events in the same way that American films of this nature are also inspired by, i.e. the word inspired, doing so much heavy lifting it's gonna have to take a drug test after the event, historical melodrama that just blew the doors off the box office in its native South Korea via a mix of genuinely thrilling chase climax, some killer suspense beats throughout, and a lot of shameless yet undeniably solidly crafted patriotic myth-making vis-a-vis the selfless heroism of mid-level government employees who just want to do their best, dagnabbit. Is it corny? Yeah, but no more or less than any other national cinema's version of this same basic movie, and for the most part, this one is very well made. Set in 1991 during the Somali Civil War and the fall of the capital city of Mogadishu to rebel fighters specifically, we're informed by introductory text that our context places the protagonist as South Korean embassy employees on assignment in the country to effectively deliver gifts and, well, shake hands and make nice with the implicitly corrupt and extremely embattled current leadership on the grounds that currying favor with as many African heads of state as possible is vital to their country's bid for recognition on the UN Security Council. Unfortunately, their efforts are constantly thwarted by bad luck, the scheming presence of the very mean and scary-looking North Korean diplomatic team that seeks to undermine their efforts, and the escalating presence of rebel-aligned bandits and warlords attacking foreigners in the streets. Using increasingly dangerous weapons, it soon becomes apparent are being provided by the North Korean interlopers themselves. But when the war turns fully to the rebels' advantage and Mogadishu begins to fall with evacuation orders imminent, it turns out those guns did not buy the northern diplomats the safe passage they thought, and now their would-be allies are hunting them down like any other enemy. Out of options, they submit to asking the South Koreans for help, and the two sets of enemies, both of whom have essentially been propagandized from birth to view one another as a little more than monsters, have to form an uneasy peace to escape a city where almost everyone is a machine-toting killer that wants them dead, and reach a friendly airstrip where they might be able to escape the continent, leading to the film's centerpiece action beat, a bravura convoy chase sequence where the two teams of diplomats race DIY armored cars through the streets attempting to outdrive rebel militants with better vehicles and military-grade guns, vividly captured by director Ryoo Seung-wan's camera swooping in and out of the vehicles via bullet holes, windows, and sharp turns, at one point following a rebel gunman as he's struck by the hero's car head-on, crashes through the windshield, and continues firing his AK the whole time. In case you're wondering, no. Evidently, South Korea is not any more or less interested than Hollywood or Chinese film industry in finding a prism through which to visualize the peoples of 1990 Somalia as anything other than binary martyred victims or snarling guns blazing nightmare figures, with the spectacle of child soldiers getting deployed here with particular zeal. So yes, a Korea-specific coat of paint on a sort of recent history film you've likely seen many times before, but not an uninteresting one, particularly from the perspective of being reminded that yes, world history does actually happen to the world and not just Westerners who are present for the events and Western media who subsequently reports on them. And while the heavy-handedness of the North Koreans are people too, but we're still the better people though, moralizing is a bit much, there's a nominally well-intended vein of maybe we should think twice about manipulating other people's countries to our own advantage in general thoughtfulness hanging over the proceeding that's at least more nuanced than you expect from this kind of production. At the very least, I feel like I broadened my horizons a bit just by watching it, so that plus the pacing and that killer chase scene are enough to get us to a 6 out of 10. If it plays near you, I'd say give it a shot.